In this video, we are going to look at more functions, specifically functions related to time and date. Okay, we're going to look at the now, the current date, and the current time. As you saw, there are a lot of functions, so I'm just picking functions that are most likely to show up as at the beginner level. So I just want to just show you examples of few of those. Okay, all right, let's go to Workbench, create a new document, save it, and I'm going to call this one SQL now CURDATE CURTIME. Okay, as you can imagine, what those will do, those will give you the current date and the current time. So when you want to know what the current time of the MySQL server, okay, the server that this program is running on, MySQL is a program, right? MySQL server is a program, and it is running on some machine. In this case, it's running on our machine, but sometimes it can be running, not sometimes, almost all the time, it will be running on a remote machine, some kind of hardware, right? And you want to know what the time zone is, or what the time is on that machine, and you can just simply do select now. Select. If you just call the now function, that will just give you the timestamp. Okay, 2023 December 17. All right, so that will give you a full timestamp, the date and the time. But then I'm going to show you two more examples. The next one is current date. So basically that's current date. Right, if we look at that, that will just give us the date part of it, and then there's current time. Okay, and then it will give you just a time. So those are useful a lot when you run in a query and you want to say, hey, something that was created before today, or something created before right now, this time, or something like that, right? Those are useful. The now is what I use most of the time, not this ones. Or when you create a database, or when you create a table, you want to add a field, or you want to insert a row, and you want some kind of field, like says create a date or modified date. You want that to be the current time or the current date, depending on what format you want. You can use any of those for that purpose. So we haven't looked at inserting data or creating tables yet. We're just talking about functions. But in upcoming sections, we're going to look at how to insert data into a database, into a table, and how to actually create a table itself. So we'll revisit those functions a little bit more then. Okay. So for example, for the now, I have an example saying, let me copy it from my notes real quick, just a thing. Just a description. So we want to get coupons, discount expiration check, right? So, or I can say get, let me just do it this way, get coupons that did not expire. So we have a table, select star from ecom store dot coupons. Okay, when you look at this table, we have an expiration date. So let's get, if you can see, this one is not expired. A lot of those are expired from what it is today, because today is December 2023. So if you want to get something that is not expired, what do you want to do? You want to add a where clause. I'm going to say where, right, expiration date is greater than basically now, right? That's it's as simple as that. I want to get the coupons where the expiration date is greater than now. So we're going to run that query, and we got a bunch of, so there's a total of 25 coupons. And the previous query returned 25 rows, and this query returned 23 rows. So there are 23 rows, 23 coupons that did not expire. That's how you would use it. Another example, I'm just going to copy the example from here for the current date. So Kila database finding today's rentals, right? Basically anything that's the rental date that was rented today. If you want to see how many rows, how many books were rented. So we're going to say select the field names we want from the table where date. So let's actually look at this table, so you would appreciate this. It's actually, there's two functions, the date function here and the current date. So what the date function does is it will take what you give it, like it's expected, you can't just give it anything, it's expecting a date time object, and then it's going to convert it to a date. So let's do select star from this table. Okay, oops, and we're looking for rental date. So when you look at the rental date, it has a date and the time. It's a date time, right? It's not just a time, it's not just a date. So in this example, we want to get today's date, right? So rental date, yeah, today's date. So what we want to do is we want to take the rental date and convert it into date. Okay, so let's actually, this is probably worth showing that example. So I can do this guy. Let's add 2 columns and this guy. So we're going to run a query. Okay, we're going to get the rental date and the date rental date. So it just takes the date out and removes the time. So in this query here, in our main example, we're just saying the date is equal to current date. Current date is going to generate the current date, today's date, and we're just saying the rental date is the date part of the rental date is actually today's date. Okay, so that's a use case of current date. That's really what I want to show, but at the same time, you got to see the date. This thing there's quite few functions like that. So we can do the date. If I duplicate that, you can do, like, if you just want to get the year by itself, you can do year. You will see you'll just get the year. Okay, if you want to get like the hour, just the hour, so you're going to do hour, not out. You can do the hour, and this get you just the hour, just so you know these functions do exist. Those are more functions. Okay, so one more example just to show the current time. I'm going to copy the example again. So in this case, it's very similar, but we're looking for something that's compared to a specific time. In this example, we're comparing it to a specific date. Here, we're going to compare it to a specific time. And this one is in the orders. So we want to get all the orders that were created after 3 in the afternoon. Okay, 3 p.m. in the afternoon. The military time, 15 hours. Okay, so we just want to take the time of the order date and compare the time aspect of it to this hard-coded time. In this case, we got date, year, hour, right? We could just like date, we could have converted it into time. Then we can do second or minute if we wanted to. Okay, so pause the video or pull up the SQL. You have access to this code. Put it up and review it, right? Just trying to look at it. Write few more of your own. Come up with your own. Just try it. What happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? Okay, and pay attention to the number of results that you get. That's how you know if your query is giving you a different result or not. Okay, so that was a quick look at more functions which are built into MySQL.